Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, I hope all of you are able to listen to me and my voice is clear to all of you. Okay, so I hope you would be doing practice at home for the given exercises and the work that we are doing in our regular classes. You know very well that in previous chapter, in chapter number 7, and in this chapter, in chapter number 8, we are basically going through a special software which has been made for animation. Basically, it is Adobe Flash. So we are doing practice for it, and we are trying to explore different options. Not only we have discussed them theoretically, but also we applied each and every option, each and every tool which is given in our chapters with the practical examples. So first I would like to ask that did you do some practice for the previous work that I had given to you, whatever we studied in chapter number 7 and in chapter number 8? So you are doing practice, you are trying to make those animations that we are making here. Please raise the hand. Just raise the hand that you are doing practice. Don't raise the hand right now for any question. Just raise the hand to let me know that who are these students who are doing practice for these tools that I am teaching you, so that I can know. Only one student or two or three. Please keep your hands raised. Keep your hands raised so that I can see. Yes, Laiba, can you explain something about it?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not practicing every tool, but I'm practicing the shape twin and the frames.
Twin motion, shape train.
Yes, sir.
What about drawings?
Sir, I
Primitive
started
rectangle.
practicing from Saturday.
Okay. Did you draw the tools using tools like rectangle, oval?
Yes, sir. Sir, I started with shape twin.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna start practicing from now.
You can also go through the previous lessons,
Yes,
video
sir.
lessons, and in previous chapter we also did the practical work, the lab activities. The lab
Yes,
activities
sir.
which were there, we performed those lab activities, and these are also given in your Google Classroom. You can see over there. So you should do the lab activities as well.
Okay, sir.
Now, okay, fine, thanks. Now, who will tell me, is there anyone who performed the lab activities? Who performed the lab activities? The lab activities that I had given to you in your last classes when we were doing our chapter number 7. So you would see that in your Google Classroom, this thing is also there. And I asked you and I explained you and I gave you the files actually. I also gave you the actual files over there. Okay. If you go and if you see in your classwork, you will be able to know here that we had done these lab activities as well. And I mentioned that the classwork also is also there, homework is there, but I also mentioned that the lab activity number 1, 2, and 3 is also given to you in this lesson, and I gave you their files as well. lab activity number 1, lab activity number 2 and 3. So I also gave you the file. And on 5th of November, I also gave you the lab activity number 4 for the previous chapter. Why I gave you? So that you can download it and you can go through it. And I had told you this will not be opened directly. You will download it, you will open the flash, and then you will go to the open option in the flash, and then you will open the file that will be opened. Then you can see that what kind of activities are these activities, and then you should apply these activities in your flash. Okay. Anyway, so we are going to move ahead in our chapter, and I think we had done up to some different things which are there in this chapter. We had discussed about the concept of timeline and frames. Can anyone define for me? Because these things can also come in the theoretical paper. You will be asked to write about timeline. What do you understand by the frame? What is meant by the keyframe? What is meant by a frame? What is meant by a keyframe? At least you should try to reply for them. Yes, please raise the hand. Yes, who will tell me about the timeline and frames? It is written in your books, page number. I think this is page number 116. Yes. What do you mean by a timeline? What is meant by a layer? What is meant by a frame? These are the three important components, because on each layer you will see the timeline having frames in it. Timeline contains the frames. Yes, please raise the hand. Whether your answer is correct or incorrect does not matter. You should try at least. At least try. You will raise the hand, or should I call the names? Yes, quickly. What is meant by a layer? Last time we had discussed about it. Layer. Yes, Laiba.
सर तो मैं बता दूं
Yes, yes, please.
सर इसके अंदर बेसिकली ये टाइप ऑफ स्टेज होता है इसके अंदर हम लोग जितने भी अपने टूल्स होते हैं उनके साथ हम लोग यहाँ पे बेसिकली हम लोग एनिमेशन बनाने के लिए यूज करते हैं अगर हमें कोई शेप ट्विनिंग करनी है या हमें कुछ ऐसा करना है तो हम लोग स्टेज उस चीज के लिए यूज करते हैं और सर ये व्हाइट वाला इसको स्टेज कहते हैं सर हम लोग
Fine.
स्टेज के लिए हम लोग इसके साथ इसके हम लोग स्टेज की लेंथ और देख सकते हैं कि हमें उसे कितना बड़ा करना है कितना छोटा करना है और
Good.
इसी के अंदर हम लोग सब काम करते हैं
Good. What about the rest of the students? Laiba has explained about the stage. Basically, you explained well about the stage. Stage is the area where we are making our animation. And when we don't have any object, when we click on the stage, we can see the properties of the stage. Right now, the stage is 550 by 400 pixels with the white background. And you are also able to see the what will be the speed of the animation, the frames per second. Right now, by default, it is 12. Okay. So, what is there on the stage? The stage will contain different objects. The stage will contain different objects. So, those objects will be on layers. Can you see that? There is a layer by default. Right now, there is only one layer. There is only one layer on our stage. Right now we have only one layer. So if you want to have multiple objects in your stage, so you can take multiple layers. Every layer will contain an object. Basically, layer is the container of the object. On the layers you place object. Let me give you example once again. Just like if I on the first layer, if I take the background, I say that on this layer I will paste the background number one. Then I want to have another layer. You will click an insert object, insert layer, and you say that on this layer I will show, for example, a text, or I will print PSM. Okay, with the animation or whatever you want to do with it. I take another layer on which I put some, you know, For example, border. I would like to give some good border to my stage. I want to give you. Okay, I will take another layer. So if I want to take another layer, let's suppose if I say that some bird is flying, and I want to show that bird on my stage. So I will take another layer. In these layers there are different objects. On these layers, background will contain only background, PSM will be the text, border will be the only the border, and bird will be the bird. And all these layers will be separate in nature, on which we will have different objects with them. So layer is a container. Container for what? Container for basically, layer is the container for the objects, different kind of objects. Now let's suppose I click on the background, I click on the very first frame, I go to the file, import to stage. I want to have a good background. Okay, so what I am going to do, of course I would have selected some background, or I would have saved some background with my, you know, computer system. So I will choose that particular background that I want to paste here. Any kind of background that I have taken. Just like over here in the lab activities, I have taken different backgrounds available. So I can use any of them. Let's suppose this is the background. Okay. Now this is a basically background picture that you can see. Right now the stage is control 2. When I press the control 2, you will see that the stage is larger and the image is smaller. How can I change the image to according to my stage? How could I? How could I do this? I will go to the stage, the image properties. What is the size of the image? 540 by 400. I will click on the image and I will also make this image 540 by 550, sorry, 550 by 400. When I will make this image 550 by 400, now it is equivalent to the stage. I can put it on the stage in a proper way. Now the stage is covered with this image. Fine. So this is basically a background image, and in the on the background image, you know very well, normally there is no particular animation because background is static normally. Background is an image. What I will do right now, I am on frame 1. Let's suppose I want to do my animation up to frame 50. I will click on frame 50 and I will press F6. I won't make any animation, twin motion or shape twin. No. Why? Because the background will be visible from the frame 1 to frame 50. Now if I run it, control enter, you can see that there is no animation. Is there any animation? No, but the picture is visible to you from frame 1 to frame 50, but you can see that there isn't any movement in it. Why? Because this is a background image. There isn't any movement in it. Okay, now other layers which I have taken, why I have taken on separate layers, because if they will be on the same layer, these will be disturbed. These are going to disturb each other, so it will become a problem for us. That's why we take each object different on different layers. So layers are the containers. Now what is meant by this timeline and these frame, you can see that when we don't insert any object, you can see that there is a small blank circle is showing that on the PSM layer there isn't any object on it, on the PSM layer. But when I will insert the object on by clicking this first frame, you will be able to see that the keyframe will be there and it will be in black color. Right now I am writing Pakistan School Muscat. Now you can see that this text is by default right now in black color. Okay, let me change it in some other color. I take it in yellow color. Okay, now can you see that the PSM has got one black dot on first layer? Fine. On first layer, I place it over here outside the stage. Fine. Outside the stage. or I place it here. I can make motion in it, but now this time I'm going to make some other kind of twin motion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this using free transform tool. I am going to make it small. Okay, it is in small size, in the center of the image, very small size. On frame 1, now see what kind of animation is there that I am going to make right now. On frame 1, PSM is there in the small size. Okay, I click on the frame 50. I click on the frame 50 and I press F6. Okay, I click on the, sorry, I click on the frame 30, let's suppose. Frame 30 and I press F6. And what I am going to do, I am going to make it large. On which frame? On which frame I had done this? I have done this on frame number 30. I have made it large. On frame 1, it is small. On frame 30, I have made it large. Fine. And I right click on this between frame 1 to 30 on PSM layer and I create twin motion. Now when I will run it, let me slow down the FPS speed. FPS speed is right now 12. Okay, if I make it 5, so can we see some difference? Pakistan School Muscat is in small, but it will become large. But after being large, it is visible for very less time. It is visible for very less time. Can you see this? After becoming large, it is visible for very less time, for a second, or less than even second. How can I increase this time? How can I increase this time? It is on frame 30, it is in this size. If I want to have it in the same size on frame 50, I will press F6. Now you will see that it will be visible for more 20 frames. When it will become large, now it is visible for some more time. It is visible for some more time. It is in small size for 30 frames. Then it is in large size for 20 frames. Small size for 30 frames, large size for 20 frames. So you can see that in this way we can make simple animation of small and big text kind of things, whatever we want to do with it. Now let me do something with the borders. I want to create a good border way over here. What I can do, I will click over here. Okay, I will click over here on frame 1. I want to make a border. Now I am giving you just a quick example of creating how we can create borders. Okay, let's suppose if I take a rectangle. Okay, I have drawn one rectangle over here without any outline. I am going to change its color. Okay, this is a rectangle I have taken. Let me take one polystar tool and I have already explained you the functions of the polystar tool. I will take the polystar. I want to have the polystar and I want to have polystar, not polygon. Okay, polystar in the same color. Okay, I am going to draw a star over here. Can you see this? Okay, now this thing is, I think, clear to all of you. Now I am going to take copies of it. It is this all work I am doing. Keep in mind I am doing it outside of this stage. I am going to make some copies of it. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I want to make a border. I want to create a good kind of border. Now you will see that how we can do this job. We can take at this stage grid line to make our alignment proper. Can anyone tell me the purpose? What is the purpose of the grid line? Why do we take the grid line? What is the purpose of the grid line? Okay, anyway, without grid line, I have adjusted it in this way. Can you see this? Okay, it's looking like a border structure. I will copy it. If I want to make the copy of it, I can copy it in this way. Okay. If I want to make a copy for this, I can make a copy in this way and I can place it. What happens if we press control minus? Using control minus, what we can do? You can do this thing in using control minus, that you will be out of the stage. You can see this. Okay, it is a border now. I have created one border. How can I join it? Right click on it, select all, right click on it, go to the convert to symbol and convert it to graphic. Now this is a one object. Can you see this? This is one object now. Okay, I place this object over here. Okay, I make another copy. I place this object over here. Sorry, I will place object over here by pressing Alt. Okay, can you see that these are now two borders at the top and right? What I want to do, I want that this border should move from right to left. Okay, I will place it over here. From right to left, and this border should move from right to left to right. But right now we are on which frame? On borders layer, we are on frame 1. There isn't animation. Right now there isn't animation in it. So what I am going to do, I will, right now I am here, I will over here, I will click on frame 50. I will press F6. When I will press F6, what I am going to do, I will bring this border from right side to left side. Okay. And I will bring this border to left side to right side. Now see these steps. On frame 1, the borders are there. On frame 50, the borders have changed their position. I will right click between the frame 1 and frame 50 and I will create which motion? Twin motion. Okay. Okay. Right now over here, I think the twin is not working. What happens with the twin motion? Is there any problem with it? Let me check, because the twin effect is not clear over here. Although I have created the twin motion by changing their positions. Let me save the file. With the name of borders, I have saved it in the folder of chapter 8. Let me take simple example of twin. Whether twin is working or not, let me check it. F6. If I place over here, right click over here and create twin motion. Twin motion is working. Okay, fine. Now if I go to my animation, control 2, frame 1 we are here and frame 50 we are here. Okay, since we have taken two objects on the same single layer, so that's why these objects are joined together and doing a problem with the animation, and the twin is not being created. But I have explained you how you can create the borders. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I will apply break apart to it. Okay, then I can take only this one, cut. Okay, I take a new layer and I paste it over there so that I can see, and I delete the previous border layer. In this way we can delete the layer. Okay, let me check the twin once again, that the twin is working or not over here. Yes, twin is working, because I had taken two layers on, on different on the same layer. So we should take the uh, objects on different layers, as I had explained you. So two objects from left to right and right to left. These were not working in a proper way. So I have created one border at the top. In the same way, I can make a duplicate of this layer, and I can, take the object for the bottom. Now I can take the object for bottom over here. On layer number 7, I am right now on frame 1. I click on frame 50, I press F6, and I bring this object from this position to this position. So, and I will say twin motion. So we should take the objects on different layers, because I had taken both the objects on the same layer, so these were not working. So I have identified that the version is not supporting that thing, that we are using two different objects on the same layer. Now you can see that we have taken the border, and PSM is also doing the same animation. Can you see that? From smaller text to larger text, you can see over here. In this way, we can make different kinds of animations. So I will give you this file with your work. Okay, now come to the chapters. I have explained you the timeline, the frame, and how to insert layers, new layers, and how to delete layers. I think this concept is clear. The concept of the layer is clear to all of you now. Is there any issue with it? Kindly just let me know. Raise the hand so that I can see. Let me mark the attendance first. So we have got from Abila Ali to Mehak, and then Khadija. Now come towards the reading once again. So concept of layer is basically that you place different objects on different layers, so that there should not be any collision between different objects. You are having a triangle with the animation, you are having a rectangle with the animation, you are having a text with the animation, you are having an image, you are having a bird flying, you are having a plane flying, you are having a cartoon character walking. All the objects should be on different layers, so that we can do all these jobs. We can hide or unhide or lock or unlock. I had explained you this. These options are there in the flash, and we can see that on these options, these are the basically options we can do: hide and unhide. In this way, it will remove the infill color, lock, unlock. How we can lock the layer? How we can apply these options to the layer? Now, these are basically different kinds of options that we can apply from here. Okay, we can rename the layer, we can change the name of the layer according to our will, and we can take different objects on it. Deleting a layer, right now I showed you how we can delete a layer, because I had taken two objects on one layer, so I deleted that layer and I took another layer on which I put another object. Okay. So when you delete a layer, you also delete all objects on it. When I deleted the layer, the objects, the borders that I had created were also deleted in that particular layer which were there. So you need to be very much careful. That's why I copied the border first from there. I copied it. Then I deleted the layer so that I pasted that object on the new layer. Did you notice this thing? That when I deleted this layer, before deleting, I copied the object from there. From one frame, I copied the object and I pasted the object in a new layer, and then I deleted the previous layer because the object would also be deleted. So I would have to draw it again. Animation with the motion, twinning and shape. Both the things I have explained you. Both the thing I had explained you how we can do the shape twin and how we can. Now once again you can see the example of the shape. How we can convert a static, control 2, and how we can convert a static. I draw one static over here. This is a star and I will right click on it, I will click on break apart and I will bring it to the frame number 50 F6. I will bring it over here. Okay, I will bring it over here. When I will bring it over here on frame 50, so right now you can see that on frame 50, what it is a star. I will delete it. On frame 50, keep in mind, not on the whole line. And I will draw some other thing, just like I take a polygon. The star will be converted to polygon. If you want to change the color, you can change the color as well. Okay. I will right click on it and I will also apply break apart to it. Now on first frame it is star, on the frame 50 it is polygon in some different color. What I will do, what I am going to do, I will right click on this line, I will say shape twin. Now you will see that how the shape is going to be twinned. Shape is going to be converted into a polystar. The shape is going to be converted into a polystar. This is called a shape twin. So in this way we can apply shape twin. This thing is clear up to here. If you have got any question, please ask me. This is called shape twin. Yes, Masfira.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you explain this shape twin again?
See once again quickly. Our class time is about to over. See once again. Control 2 is used to see the full stage. Now see. This is a polystar. Now I am drawing a polystar over here. Okay. This is a polystar I have drawn. Fine. I will right click on it. I will break it apart. Now I am clicking on frame 50. I will press F6 and I will bring it to here. I will change its position. On frame 50, on frame 1 it is here, on frame 50 it is here. On frame 50, keep in mind I will click on frame 50 and I will delete it. I am just deleting from the frame 50, keep in mind. And now I will go to the polystar again. I will take the red color and I'm going to take some different shapes. So that's why I'm taking star, not polygon. And I'm drawing a star over here, putting it at the corner. I will right click on it and I will break apart. Break apart is very necessary. If you will not apply the break apart, it will not work. Now, on frame 1 it is polygon, on frame 50 it is a star. Right click on it and say create shape twin. Now in this time I have converted the polygon into star. In the previous lesson what I did, I converted the star into polygon. But now I converted the polygon into star. The color is also being changed. The color of polygon is light color. Now over here the star color is basically a dark color. Now this thing is clear to all of you. Is there any question, anything that you want to ask? Please ask me. Fine. So I think all these things are now clear to all of you. And go through these videos that I have given you today. Inshallah, I will upload in your Google Classroom. and try to apply. If you will not apply, these things are useless. If you will not apply, if you will just watch it like a television that I'm teaching and you are listening, you are not doing anything, you are not going to have a proper practice. So of course this is not that much beneficial for you. These are very key skills that I am teaching you in your regular classes. I am telling you the all the basics of the animations which are there in our syllabus, and you can make a number of things using this technique. Basically, it's up to you that you have to do the practice of it. If you have got any question over here, please ask me. And all the things are clear to all the students. Do you have anything to ask? Okay. Now, if you go to the chapter, you will see that we have covered the twin motion as well, and we have covered the shape twin. How will you define if the question comes? What happens in the shape twin and what happens in the twin motion? Both are, of course, different. In twin motion, we are changing the position of the object from left to right, from right to left, from top to bottom, from bottom to up in twin motion. But in shape twin, what we are doing, we are changing the shape of the object. What we are doing? We are changing the shape of the object in shape twin. So basically, this is the case. What is going on in the shape twin and what is going on actually in the twin motion. So this is the thing that we need to understand. Okay. So animation and motion twin and shape twin, with both the things we have applied, but the important thing over here is that we need to do the practice for it. When we will do the practice, then it will be, of course, on our fingertips, and you will be able to apply it in a better way. Okay. So all these things I have already explained you that are there in the shape twin and animation twin motion. But the important thing is that you need to make some small projects, small things in it so that you can perform it well. Thank you so much, all of you. Our class time is now about to over. Please do practice at home.